CapCut in two ways. There's a CapCut editor that you go to capcut.com/editor and you work online with the tool. If you are using it online and you haven't logged in, you'll be able to edit and do what you need to do. The spacing is a little bit smaller though, and you won't be able to export. Or you could download CapCut and have it on your computer and open it that way. To start working, you're going to click where it says create a project in order for you to start inputting media. As it opens up your project, you land on CapCut's interface. It opens up and it lands on media area. So this is where you're going to drag and drop your videos, your photos, your audio, so that you're able to start working on a project. And just on the left hand side of the page, it also shows you that you can import media. You can also have your own tools that you import, like your end of your YouTube videos that you want to use, or your own audio. You could also have presets and brand assets, and you can now also start using AI media or creating AI media, AI video, and you can also create AI dialogue scenes if you have the necessary account. And there are spaces and library. Just above that, as you saw, it landed on media. This is where we were when we clicked import. This is your audio. So if you want to get audio from CapCut, you can use it directly with audio here, or you can import your own audio when you were in the media space. This is your text. If you want to add text on your videos, you use that functionality. CapCut has a lot of effects and features, and one of the coolest one is stickers. So you can add stickers on your videos, and wherever you see with a purple diamond, then you need to know that particular one or that effect or the sticker is for pro users. So anything without the diamond you can use on a free account. And then it has effects. We love effects because this is where you're making your video shine. As a beginner, use this sparingly, but it's available for you. And then there's transition. This is where you're merging two videos so that the first video transitions to the next video and it smoothly transitions to the next phase. There's different transition. There's a lot. CapCut has a lot, and this is the list of the different transitions that they have. And then you can add captions. You can import your own captions, or you can add captions automatically created by CapCut. And then there are filters that you can also use, making your videos look beautiful, like your 8K filter or your 4K filter or your radiant filter. So you can choose that if you want your video to have that kind of filter. And then there are adjustments that you could make. When you click on the arrow, there's templates that you could use. CapCut has a lot of templates as well that could be used. The free ones won't have a diamond, and the paid ones will have a diamond. And then there's the AI avatars that you could use on CapCut. So while we're understanding our interface, we also need to know that there's a timeline player that you can use. This little box is what you see when you are editing at the bottom of the page, which is your timeline. You see it there, and when there's a video added on there, it'll show a play button and you're able to tweak and adjust it. And we'll talk about how you make the videos full, how you zoom in and out, or how you change the aspect ratio from a TikTok view to a YouTube view with the different kinds of aspect ratios. And then this is if you want to see the full screen. On your extreme right hand side, there's a details box that tells you the details of your project. You are then able to change the name and see how it's structured. It defaults to these. If you want to make changes, you click on modify, and then you are able to change the name of the project, and you can choose where it should go to if you're importing, and then the aspect ratio as well. You can choose and make changes. That button that you saw on our player button, it's also available here to make changes to the aspect ratio. And then there's also the frame rate. How fast do you want your frame to be? This is where you make the changes. So I'm going to save because I changed the name, and then it automatically changes the name up here, which you can also change on top here to make it the name of your project, whatever you want it to be. And then this is your export button. And if you're working with a team, you can also share your projects with them. Down below, this is where the fun happens. We call this space your timeline. And when we add a video, we import it and we drag it to the timeline. We then start editing our videos while we're seeing them on the player timeline space. So we're going to go and start our project. We're going to go to media, and then we're going to click import, and then we can import a new video and we can start editing the video. To select the clips that we would like to use and edit, we're going to click and select the clip and hold the command or control key to select as many clips as you want. I'll just select these three and click on import. They are then added to our media panel. Then we can start adding them to the timeline in order for us to start editing the video. There are two ways that you can add your videos to your timeline. When you hover your mouse, you can see that it shows a plus button. You can click on the plus button to add to track. That's the beauty with video editing software. They will give you guidance. So if you hover, it tells you, you want to add to track, do this. That's one way of doing that. The other way, because they are all selected in blue, as you see, it's highlighted still in blue. You just click and you hold down and you drag them and you drop them to your timeline. They then get added to your timeline so you can start editing your video. As soon as you add videos on your timeline, all of these tools that were grayed out, they become available because CapCut is telling you you are able to edit your video now. So all of these functionalities are used by you, but what I usually do when I don't know what the functionality is all about, I move my mouse and I hover, and then it tells me what it is all about. This one is a split. This one is a delete left. This one is a delete right. This one is a delete altogether. So wherever you're unsure, always hover and then see what that functionality is all about. When we are editing videos, we can press the space bar.
Did you clean your room?
To start listening to the video and start editing the video. Sometimes when you want to edit the video space, it is tight. Say for example, I want to delete that little part where the mom is talking. It is so tight and small. That's why it's very useful for you to zoom in and zoom out your timeline. You can always use this functionality to zoom in and zoom out of your timeline. The other way to do it is if you're using a PC, you can hold the control and then you press the plus button and then it zooms out. That's how you do it. So let's start editing our video. The skill of video editing is all about listening to the clips that you've added and inputting or deleting what you don't want or adding what you want. The very important tool we use in editing is this white line that's called Playhead. So you can click and hold your mouse so that you can move the playhead the way that you want, like I said earlier on, or you can press the space bar to have it start moving. So if I start listening, I would probably want to delete something or add something or start editing the actual video itself. So if I don't like the space that's there, then
Did you clean your room?
Yes, Mama.
and that little space, for example, I want to delete it, then I would then split the clip by hovering and clicking where it says split. When I do that, I split the clip. If the action that I've just taken was in error, I can always press the undo button to undo what I've done. So if you want to split, you can use that, or your Control B or your Command B to split the clip. But it has to be selected in order for the action to take place. Then it shows me, Za, you've made a split. Then I can either select and delete this whole section if I don't want it, or I can hover and move my mouse ever so gently so that it starts showing me the crop function, that I can crop out that section that I don't want on my clip. Video editing is all about that. So your Control B or your Command B is very useful because that's what helps you split clips and delete the sections that you don't want, and that's the beginning of your editing journey when you are editing. Let's now look at adding transition between two clips.
Get your African mom.
And there is a cut in between. It just
Get your African
abruptly and jumps to the next clip. So there's a better way to transition to the next clip that you've added on your timeline. That is called transition. So this functionality allows you to have the clips that you've added on your timeline transition smoothly in between the two clips. There are a lot of these transitions, and when you are new at video editing, don't go overboard, because then it is really annoying to somebody watching your video if you are playing around with all sorts of transitions. So be gentle with them when you start out and learn how to be a better video editor. If you click on each of these transitions that are available, you'll start finding the ones that work for you. And if you want to use the transition, you can just click on it and drag it to the two clips that you would like to add together. And then it's going to allow you to add the transition. When you play the clip
now. Get your African.
It then smoothly transitions to the next part of the clip and start making your work look professional. The timing of your transition, you can select it like you can see it's highlighted in white, and then you can use your mouse to drag it. As you see me dragging it like that, and you're looking on the details box, it shows you the duration can be adjusted in two ways. If you want to frame your video, maybe you would like to zoom into the lady that's talking on the video, you will select the video that you would like to frame, and then you can start adjusting the framing of your video. So you can use the scale to zoom in and out. When you zoom way more, it will show you a black space, which tells you people are going to see this black space. It's going to look unprofessional. So that's why you need to watch what it is that you're doing. If I scale it a little bit more, it then shows me. You can use your position to position where she is, or you could just drag it. You just click with your mouse and you drag the position to where you want to frame the person that's on the video. If I drag it, it will tell me that the video is centered horizontally. If I move it down, so that if I move it to the side so that I see a blue ruler, it tells me it's centered vertically. So if I want both of them to be centered with both the blue lines horizontally as well as vertically, I drag and move it until I see the two lines. Then it shows me that it's centered vertically as well as horizontally. If I don't want that, I want the clip to zoom on its own, this is when we start using the keyframes. CapCut has keyframes that we can use that are extremely useful when we are editing. So I'm going to undo so that she's back at the stage where she was. Then I use my playhead and I place it to where I want the zoom in to start happening on the clip itself. So I'm going to move my playhead, place it where I want to place it, then head over to my details tab and select a keyframe where we tell CapCut that we would like to have the clip start zooming in or zooming out where we've added the keyframe. So how does that work? As soon as you click and you select the keyframe, a diamond keyframe gets added to your clip on your timeline. You can then move the playhead and then start adjusting your clip using either the scale or the clip itself. The minute you move it to a place where you want it to zoom in or zoom out, it will add another keyframe to your clip. So if we play this to see how it looks like,
Now, get your African mom lie detector for only $4.90 a month.
And that's how you add zooming in and zooming out on your clips using your CapCut. So if you still wanted to zoom to the side, you can go ahead and scale it back to wherever. Every time you do changes, once you've added the first keyframe, it will keep on adding keyframe to make adjustment of the changes that you are making on your clip. So let me just click on her.
African mom lie detector for only $4.90 a month.
That's how you make your videos zoom in and zoom out. If I want to make adjustments on audio, you select the clip where you want to make adjustments on audio, and then you head over to your details area. Once you've selected it, it will show you the functionalities that are available for you to make adjustment on that clip that you've selected. So we were working on video, that's why it's highlighted in blue on video. If you select audio, it will then allow you to make the audio adjustments of your video. You can move it down. The minute you reduce the sound, you will see that the sound is going to go down at the clip itself. If you move it up and even more, it will be unbearable to listen to, but that's how you adjust the audio of your video. That's one way. The other way, you can hover and you will see the back-to-back arrows, which allows you to adjust your audio. If you've selected your video and you're at the details section, you can select where it says speed. You can adjust the speed manually by adjusting it over here. And this will make the video shorter if you move to that direction, meaning it's faster. If you move to the left direction, it makes the video slower. If you look at the duration at the bottom of the page, this is the second way that you can adjust the speed of your video. So you can type the seconds that you want. So say, for example, you want 7 seconds and you press enter, and then it'll adjust the speed to the lower limit depending on how much duration you want. The duration is 6 seconds. If you make it 7, meaning it's slower, then it slows down the video, and you can see it on your timeline that the video's time has decreased or increased. About animation, meaning animating your video, you're going to select your video and click where it says animation. CapCut has a lot of animation that you can add on your video, so don't go overboard with this because it distracts the message, but they are available. One of the easier and quiet ones that are not shouting is the fade in. When you select the fade in animation, it means when the video starts, it's gonna fade in, and the duration at the bottom of the animation gives you a leeway of adjusting how long should your animation fade in, as well as if you select on out, you can animate how the audience are going to see the end of your video. So I like the fade out as well, and you can also adjust how long should the fade out be. So if you play the clip, it fades in based on that duration you've added, as well as fading out based on the duration that you've added. You're going to select the Adjust tab, and then you're going to scroll down to where it says Adjust. Then you're able to adjust the color of your video or the saturation of your video. It shows very nicely on a person. So if we adjust the saturation, we give it a little bit more color, temperature, as well as when you scroll down, you're able to adjust the contrast, the whites, the black. There's a lot of functionality that's available for you to adjust how your video looks like. This is one of the first things that you need to get used to because it makes the quality of your video really good. And then last, we're going to look at the AI Stylized. This is an AI option that you could use if you're going to be using AI effects on your video. It is there on the latest version. Let's move back over to where we finalize this section of the functionality. If you want to add text on a video, you click where it says TI, click on the plus button to add text. So we've added text. There are text effects that you can add to make your text look good. There's classic and there's a whole lot that's available that CapCut gives to you. Then there are templates that you could also use to make your work a little bit brighter and beautiful. So you're going to scroll and find the text template that you want to use, and then you edit. The text itself is going to sit on our details button. Then you're going to type over there to make your changes on your text. And then there are auto captions that come with CapCut. You can click any language of auto captions that you want to add on your system, and then you can generate your auto captions. If you're happy with English, you just click on generate, and then the tool is going to generate caption wherever there is audio that is being spoken. And then we see it over here because she's talking, and there's your captions that are added after you've created the auto captions, which you can head over to your details section and start tweaking and adjusting to the type of text that you want to see. Let's talk about animating your text. So if you've added your text and you've written it, whatever you want to write on it, you just need to select the text in order for you to add animation on the text. It defaults and starts where it says none. If you want animation, whichever one, you just click on it, and then you can also adjust the duration of how long the animation should be when the text just pops into the video, and then it looks like that. Next, let's look at adding effects on your videos as well as filters. You're going to select the video that you would like to add an effect on, and then you're going to scroll and find the effect that you want to use. Also take note that you can search for a type of effect that you can use. For example, if you want a zoom effect and all of the zoom effects, you can type zoom, and then you click and you drag the effect either to the video itself, or you can place it just above the video so that when it starts, the effect is applied. And then after it's finished, the effect is gone. So that's how you add your effects. Next, you can use filters. So if you want to make the color of the video beautiful using filters, you can also go and drag the filter to your video. So if I drag the filter like this, I can also drop it to the video, or I can add it just above the video. So when it's playing, then the filter gets applied to the video. And music on your CapCut. If you've selected audio, you have options to add a whole lot of library that's available on CapCut, and you use the music that's given to you. So you can listen to the music. If you want to edit, you click on the plus button, and then it gets added where your playhead is sitting. If you want to add sound effect, with your sound effects, you can search for it like we've searched previously. So let's say we want a zoom sound effect, and then you click to listen on it. If you want to add it, you click on the plus button, and then the sound effect is added. There are a lot of them that you can use. And then lastly, there's a copyright. This is where you check the sound or the sound effect if it is copyrighted or not. So you need to have a sound that's longer than a minute to check the music. To export your video, you've done your editing, you've checked it, you're happy, you're going to select export. And then you can rename, like we've spoken earlier on how to rename your file. And you can click where it says export to. You can direct CapCut where to place this video of yours that you are exporting by clicking on that folder, and then it takes you to where you can place the video. And we have an export option of video. When you scroll down, there's audio and there's also GIF. So it's up to you on which format you would like to export your video. You can choose the frame rate, you can choose the resolution. If at all possible, try to get a higher resolution for YouTube, because then your videos are going to look good. If you want just audio, you untick video and click on audio, and then it will create that file. If you want both, then you tick both of them, and then it exports the file where you have chosen it to go to. And the export page is going to show up once it's done. The video is saved on your laptop. However, you can share it to TikTok, you can share it to YouTube if you want to, especially if you've signed in and you've linked to that. And if you want to go see where the file landed, you can click on open folder, and then it will take you directly where on your computer this video has been saved to.